Figured as long as I was quiet, they'd probably actually do little zoomies. So there we go. These girls don't seem to think they can all eat in one section. I mean, there's only 4. Come on, they fit. And yeah, you're right. No new babies. But hey, month ain't over yet, right? I really don't want to have any May babies. Yeah, we better say good morning to these girls. Huh, Brett? Huh? Yeah? Yeah? Hope you don't. Well, Rainy must be done with breakfast. I actually didn't even feed the dogs this morning. They had some left. And we keep their dog food bag in an old plastic garbage can. Somehow the garbage can had a bunch of dog food in the bottom of it. No hole in the bag, so. Anyway, I dumped that out yesterday. Give them something to deal with. What do you know there, cowboy? Huh? After he got his tail assaulted, he got a bunch of love yesterday, so he should be good. And there's Ruby. Oh yeah, another one of those brats. See how they both shake their head the same way? Makes you wonder. Well, let's see, we can still get some. Oh, go figure. They know I'm looking. There was still some zoomies going. Cows were even getting involved a little bit. Not now. Anyway, finished feeding. It's my toe. Yeah, that's my toe. You gotta watch. Sometimes they'll stick their nose up. Not too bad if they put it in front of my foot. You know, they just kind of get kicked, and I don't even know I do it till I do it. But when they put it on top of my foot while I'm stepping, that doesn't work out so well. Well, don't that just chap your crotch? Yeah, big business for international companies. And when I flipped it over, yeah, there we go. 4.8 million for one broker out of Australia. All out of the same bar. Yeah. Anybody who believes lottery ain't crooker than shit. They're stupid. I mean, after all, let me see. I'll bet you that 4.8 million, I'll bet you they didn't have to only take half of it. Because, hey, if I'd have won that, if I wanted the lump sum, I'd only be allowed to take half of that. Then I'd have to pay taxes on that, income taxes, after that. And if you were to take their yearly stuff, so I die before I get half of it, and they take half of that anyway. Well, actually, after I die, they take the rest of it. Yeah. Just as crooked as the rest of the government in the country. Another one just flew by. Oh, I got 3 of them. Set mom's paper in, step out the door, and yeah, sometimes once in a while you get one that just wants to think that my ear's a flower. You wonder about that anyway when they're like 2 inches from you. Anyway, there you go. Your Sunday morning hummingbirds. See, she filled that thing all the way up this time. She only been putting a little in it, but weather change, not as much for them to eat. So they're after the food more. And I'm wondering if there's any duckies over here. I doubt it. I think they probably the same ones that I saw out by the back barn last night. If you didn't see that one, I did put a second video up last night. Lakely and her prom date, but she didn't get to go to prom. He did with his girlfriend though, so yeah. I haven't heard if they had fun. I'm assuming they had a good time. Well, an enjoyable evening. How's that sound? I don't want to make this too dirty. Bet you not too many people know what those are. I'll give you a hint though. Those are going to go into those. Hole at that end. Could line up with that hole. They're going to get welded in. Those are the upper forks for my bale spear on the skid steer. Because at the time I didn't have any round stock to make them out of, but I had tubing and just enough round stock to get points on them. I cut about that much out because that's how far those went in, and they were plug welded and welded solid on the outside, so they just went in the scrap. But I got two 20.5 inches long pieces of 2-inch quarter wall tube, two little chunks, should be 1.25 inches. No, yeah. Anyway, somewhere around there. Round stock. And after I get them together, I got to cut some off. I'd be done by now. I measure on a short one. It'll get cut off about here, cut on an angle, make the longer one match it. I'd be all done by now, but Becky sends me a text, says we're moving the cabinet with the casters on it. Or that they got it moved. Okay, that's fine. It had to come out the mudroom door, across the patio, and back in the sliding glass door, because it wouldn't go anywhere else other than getting it that way. And while I'm in there, oh, well, let's move the old stove out, let's move the refrigerator. All that stuff had to go out through that door while I had the storm door unhooked. I had to unscrew the mount from the door jamb to open it far enough and get the mount out of the way to get everything through. Then I get back in here. I literally just picked one of these up to put it in a vise when she calls to tell me she had the handle to the storm door in her hand. Now, made it sound like she was going in and it came apart. No, she was on her way out the door and it came apart. So she picked it up. Luckily, all the parts were there. And I think this was on to the up side. I don't know yet. I gotta look harder. But everything was sitting in here. I just squished the clip down so it'll be tight again. Now I just gotta find the right pair of pliers and hopefully slip it back in where it goes. Go put the door back together. And maybe, if I'm lucky, I can get some cows fed today. That hasn't happened yet either. And it's almost lunchtime. Now I have to remember where we put those. This might take a while. I want to say maybe they're in this box, but I could be wrong because I know they're not in that drawer. That's still that stuff. Obviously not that one. Not in the junk drawer. Okay, that brings us to this one. I know where this stuff is that I'm using all the time. I just have no idea where I put that. It's not this one, or is it? No, dang it. I know it's not this one. I didn't think it was that one. Pretty sure it's not that one. And I'm really not into these over here much. But that ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. What the hell? Hold on. Hold on. I found it. This is the one I want. And this is backwards. I always hate that you get the pair that works the wrong way. But those are the right size tips. Finding these might fit, but they're kind of far apart to start with. Those look a little big, but we're going to see what happens. So, anyway, that's what I'm doing now. washed out so I could feed before it rained. Now I'm just getting soaked. Realized Wally's standing there, but he's been quiet all day. So he must have had some real interest in those two that were over here, or at least in one of them. Pretty sure he probably did breed the one, but you know, we didn't see him do it. They were just friendly. And it was raining so hard we got done feeding those bales. I didn't try to get a video of it, but downspout goes to, well, gutter goes to that pole. Then there's a downspout from it out to the end, dumps into the gutter there. The downspout for that gutter is, there's two of them actually, one at that end of the calf barn, and the other is somewhere in there. Well, when it's blowing off that corner and going out 10 feet, it's full and there's a lot of water. And that's what it was doing. We may have a plugged downspout too, but it was coming down enough that it just couldn't take it all. Because that's 55 feet of rough, and I guess damn near what this is from the center down. That's a lot of rough dumping into one there. 54 feet. The longest the steel company can make, because they got a wall in the way, is 54 feet, and that's what that happens to be. This is almost the same here, so you got, well, from there to there too. Yeah. Anyway, Ty didn't feel good today. She's, I don't know, I think Wednesday she goes in for her procedure, and hopefully that will help. Otherwise she's going to tell the doctor to take everything out and get it over with, because she really ain't done a whole lot in the last couple weeks. I mean, here and there, and getting the calves taken care of, but other than that, she just hasn't been able to. It gets kind of old. And I guess I neglected to. Of course, they still had hay over here. I neglected to put hay in that feeder this morning. Hey, cowboy, how's your tail doing? I could probably send you back out, eh? Anyway, and I'm finally going to hopefully make it back into the shop for a little bit. Try to finish what I was starting. As it gets to raining harder, but at least it's not that far to run. It's even kind of focusing in on there. You see part of it. Pin's loose, because that hole's oversized anyway in that. Just a single pass all the way around there. Don't want to get that too freaking hot anyway. Ground the chrome down so it would burn through it easy. And then I remembered, I mean, I don't remember what these were off of. I remember taking them apart. They were identical, except for that one's just a touch longer and that one's bigger diameter. So I'm going to have to find me a bushing piece of pipe to fit over that. It's going to be a little more welding, but no big deal. There's one, with the exception of getting the end cut. The end cut's always a fun part, because heavier rod like that, especially on an angle on the chop saw, she just doesn't like it. You start glazing the disc, and got to be careful or you glaze the disc, and then the disc ain't no good. So yeah, here's the other thing I was working on. That was part of what we scrapped last year. This was an electrical box to run the hydraulic on a tilt chute for hoof trimmer. And I can't get that out yet. There's one in from the bottom I haven't tried yet, but I got it off the chunks that it was on. I got everything out of the inside. A whole bunch of nice keepsakes over here. Not really sure. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I'm going to say that there's a magnet there to make the connections, assuming things aren't too rusted up. It might just go in the scrap, I don't know. But you never know when you need something like that. or you come up with a use for it, I should say. So I'm going to set this one aside and see what I need for the other one. Give me a minute to find a piece. Went over here where all the bushings are, behind that mess, underneath that bottom shelf. The only thing close is brass. Brass ain't going to do it. I can't weld brass, not with this, not with that. Went over to the shithole corner over there behind the saw. Got this funky piece. Anybody know what it is? I'll tell you. It comes with a fuel pump. One piece goes inside the other. This is what sets your different size tanks. You slide it up and down. And the square holes there, well, that's where you're actually supposed to be pumping the fuel from if that's resting on the bottom of a tank. I'm going to line the square holes up there, cut on that line, and hopefully make it all slip together without too much trouble. And yeah, I had to turn my phone on so I could hear it, because I don't keep it in my pocket when I'm welding. You see that little bitty dingle ball of a weld? She's out of wire. It did that, wouldn't move. I thought, oh hell, it popped back in the tip, which happens. Then I grabbed the wire with the pliers and it pulls right out. So I didn't want to change rolls. Incidentally though, that is why we buy two at a time. When the bottom one disappears and goes into the machine, that day or a few days from then, two more get picked up. It'll always happen on a weekend. The only thing we get screwed on is gas bottles. But worst come to worst, I do have two bottles there. That's, yeah, that's nitrogen instead of CO2. But it will run just the same. And that one I think is CO2. Yeah, that one's CO2. So I can, if I have to, I can swap. Plus the little welder upstairs has a CO2 bottle on it. Oh yeah, yay. Well, there they are. Did a little grinding where the chrome was gone, smoothed the edges up so that won't catch later. Probably take a little fluid film and wipe them both down just because. And those things lay around a lot more than they get used, but that one's still a little warm from grinding on it. They slip in on the top rail on the spear, one on each side. Kind of where they'll help support the bale when the hooks swing into it. Keep the bale from shifting. I mean, they're right there. I think I'm going to go actually just stick them in it. I didn't leave the others in because with any good solid bales, you'll never get the spear in them with what the others were, but these being round and not being square will make a big difference. I didn't get them exactly the same length when I cut them though. I did a little more grinding on this one, and looks like my center's off. It looks like it's leaning that way a little. This one's just about right on though. Doesn't really matter as long as they're there. Some of them I've made before, we've cut them way down. These I just rounded it. They'll go in one way or another. Anyway, I had to, we bought a bunch of grass seed straw, God, 15, 20 years ago. And it's, even though it's packed tight, it'll roll on the spears. The hooks won't hold because shorter material and all that. And I put those other ones on. And, yeah, I got to work it to get them in. But once they're on there, even if I don't run the hooks in, they usually don't go anywhere. So, and maybe being round and that little bit smaller, especially that one, maybe I won't have to take them off. I don't know. We'll find out when the time comes. I mean, they'll work great, those dried up oat hay bales we put in last year. I could have used them, really could have. But I wasn't going to stop to put those others on, and they were all rusted up. Rusty stuff don't slide worth a shit till you get them polished up. And I've been known to run one in and out of a coarse bale multiple times to get them polished up enough. Then you finally get them all the way in. So anyway, that's my day. I kept trying to get Becky to come out here and clean some of this shithole up, but you know how that goes. I got to go help her in the house for 2 or 3 hours. She avoids coming out here for a couple hours. I don't blame her, because I still don't know where to put this shit. I mean, a lot of what's in there doesn't belong in here at all. It really doesn't. Except for this carbon arc deal, and that one, that's probably going to go back in the house on a shelf. I mean, I'm probably never going to use it, but it's old. It was Dad's. If I have to use it, I can. You know, after finding the history of those things, yeah, it can stick around. It's earned the right to. And by the looks of it, it really earned the right to. I mean, that may have been my grandfather's. I don't know. I really don't. Odds are it probably was, actually. But, you know, I don't know. Nobody around to tell me. Is my one surviving aunt, Dad's oldest sister, the odds of her knowing are, you know, pretty much nil. My one surviving uncle, who my other aunt married, you know, that's how he's in the family. He probably wouldn't have a clue if that was Grandpa's or if that was Dad's. So, anyway, I'm going to say smear some fluid film on those, go throw them in, get my feeding done, and by then, it's damn near dinner time. So thanks for watching. I gabbed a little too much probably on this one, but I do that anyway. Get used to it, you know. Hit the thumbs up, and I won't have to use one of those on you. I wouldn't do that. They're heavy. Grab the old baseball bat. That's easier. Subscribe if you haven't. You know, they say it's free. I don't know. Seems to be saying that stuff has gained a few more subs. It's gone up quite a bit, really, in the last couple months. Thank you. It's appreciated. And hope you all had a great Sunday, and I hope everybody has a great Monday. Hopefully it's only one Monday for the week, and hopefully it's not a bad Monday.